Just shaved. So I got my baby face on. It's Saturday. It's Saturday! I'm just chilling. It's almost Sunday, actually. It's like 11 o'clock. About to take a nap. I'll get up in an hour, I guess. Do some of my food prep. I haven't really done anything yet. Just been kind of sleeping this weekend. I've been thinking about my situation in North Dakota, and I think that if things go sideways on me, I'm just going to kill myself, to be honest, because I don't want to sit for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to cut my hair. I don't want to have to start over, lose all of my material possessions, move to a completely different state, sit in a jail cell, a prison cell for 2 years, and once that's done, I get put back onto the street with nothing and nowhere to go and no one to help me. So, I mean, I'm thinking, like, if that's the case, I'm just gonna kill myself. I don't care about the morality of the situation. I just don't have it in me to start over again like that. I've already started over. Like, I am on my second start here. I'm doing a lot to maintain my life and to do well and stay out of trouble and stuff like that. And now I'm going to get thrown back into the system and stripped of everything. I don't see the point in that. There's a possibility that I might be able to get this whole thing dismissed. As I said before, it's 4 going on 5 years old. This inactive warrant for a felony C-class aggravated assault with a dangerous weapon. I've contacted my lawyer. He told me that it's a serious offense, it's a serious case, so we have to take it seriously. I didn't deny that I did it, even to him. I mean, there's clear photograph. I've looked at the discovery on my case. There's, I'm like right there on camera. There's no denying it. I had actually forgotten that I did this. This was, like I told my lawyer, like I said before, this was all related to my mom passing away from brain cancer. The day that this happened, I was going to go see her. I was actually going to take a flight from Minot, North Dakota, to Rochester, Minnesota. I got there early for my flight, but I guess my flight had already taken off. I said that I had to be there 30 minutes before the flight took off. And I remember there was this gay guy who got really snooty with me at one point and made a slight, like a sly comment. He was like, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. You have to be here like 3 hours early. Like, he was like kind of having this little laugh to himself. I really got pissed off, to be honest with you. I wanted to hate him, and I was going to. But when they brought me down to do my, what do you call it, refund, the faggot moved out of the way, and I hit this lady instead, because in the way I was feeling, the way I was seeing things, I'm not excusing my behavior, but I was not in the right state of mind. I was in the very throes, in the very moment of grief. I never got to see my mom again after that. I never saw her again. She's dead now. She wanted me to come and get her and take her out of the clinical trial that she was in. She didn't want to be in the clinical trial she was in. My brother had forced her to be in this clinical trial. My mom didn't want it. She told me that. She said, I feel like he's trying to crush me. Those were her words. She wanted an alternative sort of way to either deal with what she was going through or to ease her out. She didn't want to be poked and prodded and made into a science experiment, which is what she felt like she was going through with my brother. Clinical trial didn't do anything for her. It didn't prolong her life. It didn't bring her any quality of life or anything. It was just a horrible experience for her. And for myself, I did get to visit her at one point. I remember she had a shunt in her brain and in her head. So she had this like pipe thing coming out of her head. That was, maybe I'm a bit sardonic about it, but I say that was fun. It wasn't really fun. It was a waking nightmare. But what the fuck? It's just life. Whatever. So yeah, I wanted to go see her that one day, and I didn't get the chance because they flew the airplane away, and I thought, these guys, they're in on it. They're part of it. This is all just a big fucking joke on me. So I hit this lady with my cane, and I ran off and completely forgot that I did that. Utterly forgot about it. I had the U.S. Marshals. The U.S. Marshals were actually interested in hunting me down, but the U.S. Attorney's Office said no. So off to South Carolina I went, worked myself basically into a corner for a year by doing nothing but working and self-medicating, and then lashed out again and burnt down a gazebo. Went to prison when I was getting processed for that. Processing officer reached out to North Dakota and asked if they wanted to extradite me, put a hold on me, and then extradite me. Whatever. Prosecute me at any extent of the law. And North Dakota said no. So that actually that goes in my favor, because in 2023 they realized that South Carolina had me. There was no way North Dakota can claim that they didn't know where I was. You see what I'm saying? The state knew exactly where I was at that point. And they were offered me basically on a silver platter, to which they said no. Then I go and I do my time for this arson charge. I get out. I'm doing my probation for a year. I thought North Dakota wanted me for something else. I was told that I was wanted for making bombs. As it turns out, I'm not wanted for making bombs in North Dakota. there was probably an investigation into my having a lot of napalm, homemade napalm, in my basement where I was living with my mom. And a box of dead animals in the backyard. Not a good match. The animals was because I like to take the skeletons, the skulls out of dead animals that I find, clean them up. I used to have a collection of skulls and a horse skull at one point. Not because I found a horse. I actually stole the horse skull from a pedophilic priest who had put this horse's skull out in front of his apartment that was attached to the church that he was a priest to. He had this story behind how he had to kill his horse at one point, or something profound like that. And I was like, "You're a pedophile. I'm gonna take this." And I stole his horse's skull one night and brought it back to my own apartment and cleaned it up. Gave it a bleach bath. And I just randomly had this enormous horse's skull in my apartment. It was like my trophy, my crowning glory. But I also had a porcupine skull, a coyote skull, cat skull, a couple of birds. That was it. So I also had this box of cats and squirrels and stuff like that my mom and I had gotten into before my mom got brain cancer. She would find roadkill. It'd be like, "Trevor, there's a dead cat over here." I was like, "Oh, let me see. How much of it's still intact? Can I get the skull?" Because that's the piece that you want. That's because you can resell these. You can sell them for $25 at least. So having a box of dead animals and in your backyard and a wad of napalm in your basement, you can see how that looks a little suspicious to some people. And so there was an investigation done on that, but no warrant came of it. But what did happen was I have a safety flag, or a warning flag, on the NCIC, I think it's called. It's like a national crime database. So when police have to deal with me, they get a warning that says, "Hey, this guy has been in possession of homemade explosives at some point." So that's, he's a little crazy. That's what you're dealing with right now. That way the police officers that are interacting with me know that they have to think, on a sort of more aggressive level. They have to consider me as a more aggressive threat, not just a run-of-the-mill kind of guy. So that's why I was under the impression that in North Dakota, I thought that I was wanted for making bombs. When I found out that my warrant, my inactive warrant, had nothing to do with that, or this weird confrontation that I had with my sister before I left North Dakota, and that it was actually about this lady who I had hit with my cane in the airport, I suddenly had a flashback memory of that moment. I was like, "Oh yeah, I had forgotten about that." Because there was a lot going on back in that was 2022. 2022 was just an absolute bullshit sandwich. And now I'm getting seconds. But because it happened such a long time ago, and because North Dakota had the opportunity to prosecute me back in 2023, now I can claim prejudice against my Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial. Because it's been 5 years, witnesses have moved, evidence has deteriorated, even though there's still plenty of photographic evidence. I mean, all the evidence is still there. But the point is, I do have a chance of getting this dismissed. Although, if they do prosecute me, if they want to take it to trial, like I said, I'm not going to surrender myself. I'm just going to kill myself. Because, fuck it. I'm not going to North Dakota to sit in a fucking prison cell for 2 years. I mean, I feel bad about hurting this lady. I've seen her arm, the pictures of her arm. She had a nice bruise on it. But I don't really think that I should have to sit in a prison cell because some lady had a bruise on her arm. I shouldn't have to sit for 2 years for that. Especially when I've shown that I've rehabilitated myself. I've been maintaining the same job for almost 2 years now. I'm sober. I've been sober for the entire year so far. I've stayed out of trouble. I've done anger management courses. What else do I need to do? Paid off all my restitution. And I'm paying off my supervision. It's not like I go around breaking laws all the time. The whole reason that I broke any laws the way that I did was as a response to the trauma that I was going through in my life at the time of my mom's death. It's not an excuse to act that way, but it's a reason. It's the reason. It's a connection. I'm not excusing myself. I'm just saying, hey, look, there's a connection here. There's cause and effect. I'll wake up and decide to go fuck somebody's arm up. But it doesn't matter. I'll probably be out of this dimension in a couple of months anyways. C'est la vie. Such is life. Anyways, keep your social distance.